Hi there. I welcome you to my report on a very special sports device which I have been using now for 10 months and 1000 kilometers with still increasing enthusiasm. I am the Lutz and I am collecting hobbies. Intro now. Runners in the advanced age, such as me, have often a problem: injuries. 5 times running, 5 weeks of injury. That was the set formula for me very often. In Australia, a sports device has been developed a few years ago which is precisely addressing this problem, and this is the Bionic Runner. At first sight, the Bionic Runner resembles a bicycle without a saddle with 20-inch tires. However, it is not simply a stand-up bike, since the pedal movement is not circular as with a normal bike. With the help of a sophisticated mechanism, the pedals move in a way that resembles the foot and leg movement while running. In this way, the muscle groups relevant for walking and running are appropriately loaded and trained, but without the impacts that are so often cause for many injuries. The inventor, Steve Krenich, originally financed the device via Kickstarter. In the meantime, he founded the company Run4, which markets the Bionic Runner worldwide. Orders from the European area are currently supplied from England, so that neither custom duties nor import tax are incurred. If you have any problems or questions, you can contact the company at any time and get answers from Australia very, very quickly. The customer service of Run4 is really exceptional. There are now Bionic Runners in different versions. I report here about the second generation of the Bionic Runner. There's also a very friendly and informative Facebook group for the Bionic Runner. Many tips and hints which helped me in the beginning came directly from this group. Steve Krenich is constantly present here and maintains direct contact with the Baya community. It's a closed group. The colloquial language is English. The driving behavior. Due to the high steering and the high stand, the center of gravity is of course much higher. The whole system is therefore initially unfamiliar and somewhat tipping. Driving one-handed and pointing the direction while turning is still a problem for me today, but you will get used to it relatively quickly. My first reflex at the start was actually to sit down. In my backhead there was still anchored the formula pedals plus chain equals bike. But since the chain ring is facing upwards for design reasons, this would have given a very big hello if I did so. The training. The Bionic Runner is really a strenuous and serious sports equipment. Essentially more strenuous than normal cycling. It is also less intended to drive a cozy Sunday afternoon tour, but rather injury-free preparation for competitions and to do HIIT, cardio and endurance training. Due to the gear shift, the training can be varied very well. High cadence and little strength for cardio training, for example, or lower cadence and high strength to strengthen the muscles. Moderate inclines can be done well with some training, but the device is not a mountain goat. I prefer the concrete routes on the South Hessian mountain road for heavy terrain, or the vineyards here in the area. The Bionic Runner is less suitable. And your combat weight should not be higher than 100 kilograms. In fact, I've been training on an indoor trainer over the winter because the weather was too bad. The first real rides were nevertheless quite challenging and not longer than 4 to 5 kilometers. However, the increase in mileage was just as fast as the increase in enthusiasm. And already after a short time, I have been able to drive 10 kilometers and now I cracked the 30 kilometers. Delivery and assembly. The Bionic Runner is folded and divided into a few parts in a relatively handy package delivered by courier. I had mine on New Year's Eve 2016 and assembled it directly. The assembly succeeds quite fast. Last but not least, because of the very good user manual and the YouTube videos by Run4. Be sure to check out the YouTube channel before assembling. The B Runner is delivered with all the tools necessary for assembly. The manufacturing quality is very good. The technical equipment with the disc brakes and an 8-speed Sturmey Archer hub is reasonable and adequate. The gear shifting needs getting used to a little, although the mechanical disc brakes cannot be compared with those of mountain bikes. They are sufficient for the intended application. A great advantage, since not only the steering stem but also the entire frame can be folded in half, the Bionic Runner fits fine in my little car. It is also very cool that the BR can easily be put onto an indoor trainer, especially in winter when the weather is very bad. This is a great training opportunity. I am using an Elliptigo fluid indoor trainer. This works easily out of the box without any further modifications. A few things I dislike at the Bionic Runner. The Bionic Runner is a constant source of funny and sometimes frightening sounds. You have to be able to tinker if you do not want to visit the local bike store permanently. For me, it was the occasion to dive into bike technology and deepen my knowledge, new hobby so to speak. Also, the spokes of the wheels delight the ear more with a cheerful pling pling from time to time. You should therefore have a spanner near you to adjust. I found the grips not so admirable because they sat too loosely and moved on the handlebar. I have mounted ergon handles with large binds. Meanwhile, I had a cracking sound in the bottom bracket due to a defective plastic part. Steve Cranich would have even sent me a replacement part from Australia. Since such a Shimano Holotech 2 bottom bracket is dirt cheap, I did not want it to increase my huge CO2 footprint by another air transport of a standard spare part from Australia, so I bought it myself and built it in. And the cool thing is, bottom bracket installation I now can manage in under 10 minutes on the Bionic Runner. Yappa! As mentioned, the disc brakes are okay, but not outstanding. Anyone who expects catch anchors in the strength of mountain bike brakes will be disappointed. But as I said, the brakes are okay and fulfill their purposes. There is this red crank lock which should fix the crank arms when folded. However, this clip does not hold the locked position, especially when the B runner is transported horizontally. And this is really stupid and annoying. And I always secure the crank lock with an additional Velcro. Modifications. I have modified a few things, some in a tinkering mood, some things for reasons of traffic safety, and some because I did not actually achieve 100% satisfaction. I have already exchanged the factory mounted yet handsome but unprofiled Kender tires with the Schwalbe Marathon tires. Some Facebook reports about flat tires had made me suspicious. I wanted to go long distances from the beginning because I did not want to strand somewhere in the wilderness with a flat. I did this change. The mounted ergonomic grips and bar ends were not too bad, but the handles twisted and I wanted to have different bar ends. That's why I have mounted Ergon GP5 handles. I now can change my grip position, which I found very pleasant and prevents overloading and fatigue. In addition, I have an adjustable stem that the handlebar is a tad higher and a little further ahead. For me, that feels more comfortable. Ultra light and cheap mountain bike mudguards keep a little of the dirt from the dirt tracks, but it's not yet perfect and I have to rework this. Bottle holder for the great thirst and a small air pump for the case of need. Handlebar bag with tools, lubricant, handkerchief and whatever else you may have to take with you. Of course, I have also mounted battery lights front and rear. Here's a 3D printed lamp holder. I had designed it because a tail light was difficult to attach and has to be mounted slightly higher so that it is not hidden by the mudguard. I have also mounted different pedals. Some time ago there was a message that the axles of the original pedals could break. However, this was probably due to a mounting error of the customer. Nevertheless, Run 4 has developed new pedal axles which are sent to all customers free of charge. In the meantime, it was recommended to switch to mountain bike pedals. That is why I ride these Actros A-Flat XL flat pedals together with my 510 bike shoes, and for me this is a perfect combination. Comparison with the Elliptigo. There's a similar device with the Elliptigo. I do not want to badmouth the Elliptigo because it is also a great sport device and has its target group. But I have not tried the Elliptigo, but I see some disadvantages for me personally compared to the Bionic Runner. The pedal movement is elliptical and shallower, less resembling the running motion. The range of movement for the knees is therefore less. The device is quite bulky and unfortunately not foldable, so poorly transportable. If you want to transport it by car or in the house or the stairs, if you like to use it, for example, on an indoor trainer. The weight is slightly higher and the price is significantly higher. Nevertheless, the Elliptigo may be a good sports equipment, but for me the concept of the Bionic Runner has won. Other devices such as the Street Strider, half bikes or street steppers or similar things never came in the narrow selection for me because the underlying concepts were completely inappropriate for me personally. Conclusion. Me and my niece, whose condition has improved considerably since the purchase of the Bionic Runner, are extremely enthusiastic about the device. For me, the Bionic Runner is a super sports device. Muscles and ligaments are strengthened due to the relatively large radius of the movement. The knees are moved well so that the articular cartilages can be better supplied with nutrients and everything without harmful impacts. Also, strength and endurance have been improved considerably. For me, this machine is almost a medical device and we should be able to get it on prescription. So finally, really cool sports equipment, 5 of 5 sneakers, respectively the golden meniscus with stars, first class. I hope this was informative for you. You can post questions in the comment section if you like. Check back soon because you know I am the Lutz and I'm collecting hobbies. See you soon.